You are now listening to KRAN's podcast, Stories Without Limits. Thank you for tuning in. Hello, and welcome to KRAN's podcast, Stories Without Limits. I'm your host, Rishan, one of the KRAN Media Ambassador. And today's episode is set up to be very electrifying as we explore the important topic of energy awareness and fuel poverty. We are joined by special guest Sophie from the National Energy Action, which is an organization that dedicated to ending fuel poverty in the UK. Sophie recently delivered an energy awareness workshop with KRAN young women. And today we are going to hear more about this experience, why it is matter, and what did our young people take over from the workshop. Sophie, welcome to KRAN Podcast, and thank you so much for being here with us. Before we started, I just want to obviously get know you more. Could you tell me about yourself and your role at the NEA?
So I've worked at National Energy Action for 8 months now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lovely job. I really enjoy it. So I work as a project development coordinator.
Sure.
So I'm based in Kent predominantly. So this was an area that National Energy Action didn't really do much work previously because we were originally set up in the northeast.
Okay.
Been running for over 40 years now. So we're the major kind of fuel poverty charity within the UK. And there's a lot of work still to be done. So I think we're growing. So we're growing exponentially and find that Kent is a really big area for growth for us.
Of course. And I think it's because of the everything is changed, and the topic of like energy and fuel is going really high. I mean, I don't drive or I don't do as much as trying to save and make sure that I'm kind of organizing how to pay the bills and stuff. So it's something that I really like. I find it like challenging, and not only just for me, for everyone, but again for the young people as well. So I just would like to know, like, how did you how did you come across KRAN, and where the workshop started? How is it comes?
So I first heard of KRAN back when I first started reaching out to look for charities that worked with refugees, and that was through Refer Kent.
Okay.
So Refer Kent have their monthly spotlight sessions, and KRAN had done one of their spotlight sessions, and I got in contact with Lou and said that we had some funding. The funding's from the Southern Gas Network, so they were looking to fund workshops to teach refugees to be able to understand how the network works in this country, how electricity and gas work and water bills, and I thought it was a really important thing to fund. So that's how I came across KRAN.
Thank you so much. Thank you for reaching. And I guess it's like, obviously when I came here, I was placed with a foster family. So they are the one who teach me how obviously to save and how's that. But a lot of young people that we see nowadays, especially who comes that they live in a shared home, which is they don't have one-to-one and somebody like just to tell them how to turn the gas or the electricity and how to save. And especially when they move again from being supported and then to independent life is a huge, big gap. And I do remember, like, I used to still, before like moving independently, I used to ask my foster care to help me with how to pay and book an appointment for visit. It's a lot of things. So thank you so much for reaching out. And I just want to know, like, why do you think, obviously I mentioned a couple of is important for the young people, but again, from your aspect, why is it important to engage with young refugees and asylum seeker about the energy issues and the cost living, of course?
Yeah, it's a really good question. In terms of, I think we realise that it's actually very, very difficult, even if you've lived here your whole life. The system is not simple. And actually what I've discovered, and which has been really nice for me, is to learn about how things work in your countries and how your energy companies, normally it's just one company.
Yes.
Here, that's not the case. We have 15 electricity companies, or you can have electricity and gas with the same one. You can have them with a different one. It's a very, very complicated system.
And don't forget, when you move from house, you need to form all of this company. And if you want to change, oh my goodness, the struggle for me was.
And I think at National Energy Action, we have phone calls day in, day out from people where English isn't the first language. And we recognise that it's a marginalised group that are really finding it hard to navigate the system and to understand how to read an electricity meter. It's something that is not even taught in our own schools.
Yeah, I was going to say that because it's mainly the focus for us would be like, I want to learn English and maths and topic other courses, but no electricity hand in Spain. So this is exactly true when it comes to school and colleges. And I think is really important for our young people. So thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that we're actually working on a different project in schools to try and get that message across.
Sure.
And I think it's really important. I think one of the big things that that we realised from the phone calls that we get into the triage centre is English not being a first language. So we use things like Language Line.
Okay.
We have Recite Me. I don't know if you've seen our website, but on our website,
I checked just to see it was the aim and how the support has been provided. Of course.
Yeah. So Recite Me is a really brilliant tool. It can translate in over 160 languages.
Wow.
And it has text to speak in over 100 languages. So it's something that is used.
And they have to green.
They do. We do. The Tignian has been one of the, that's probably been our highest level of support.
Yeah.
And we've got different pockets of different people that we support in different areas.
Yeah.
But from our events that we do, that's been one of the highest, and we've actually translated lots of our different things into all the different languages, and Tigrinya is one of those.
Thank you so much. Just want to know as well, like in terms of the like working with the young people, obviously the young women, how was it like, and how was the atmosphere in all? I mean, I wasn't being part of the workshop, obviously, so sorry for that. And I think it's like I heard, and you obviously give them some of like the rice cooker and all of that. They're really pleased with it. And I just want to know, like, how was the atmosphere for you, and obviously engaging with the young people, and what's stood out for you, and obviously without naming, obviously.
I think the nicest thing about working with the young people is that, and particularly the young women's group.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had one of the girls also has a baby.
Yeah.
And that's completely different. In bringing up a family is different again, and teaching her different things to learn around that. But also, I think the relaxed atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It was in a social space.
Sure.
And I think again we wanted to come across as being friendly, and this is not a teaching. I'm not a teacher,
of course.
And kind of working together and making it a really relaxed environment, so they feel comfortable to ask questions and comfortable to actually talk about their experiences. And I think for me, it was really nice to hear about where they'd come across different countries, because some of the girls had settled in Germany for a little while.
Yes.
And their systems were different again, and that was really nice for me. But and I think the cooking's a really an interesting one, because there was all different girls from all different countries.
Absolutely.
The cooking, the cultures of the cooking is very different, and our natural assumption is everybody knows what a slow cooker is, and everybody knows what an air fryer is, and
it's completely different. I do see the how was it? Was there any like kind of shocking? It's not like shocking, like a kind of exaggeration, but it's like in terms of how things has changed. Obviously, you did talk about like the different culture and how the company, but they're like in different country, and how the companies can be different. Was there any shocking, like something that you didn't know about, like the culture, or is it more of like way of how paying the bills, basically?
Yeah, I think generally most other countries use the prepay option, so it's pay up front and
Pay as you go is my favorite.
Absolutely, and that is and that's something that suits some people, but it doesn't suit other people. It's very hard when you first start. So as you say, when you transition to independent living, it can be really, really difficult to suddenly say, oh, I need to pay for this before I use it. I haven't had my money come in yet. I don't know how to budget for that.
Yeah.
And just knowing how much something is going to be. And it's so different. I mean, we had a little comparison of working out how much something would cost in this country versus this country.
Of course.
And there's such great differes there. And I think that also bringing in the energy crisis that we're currently going through.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not fixed. It's not something that's going to be the same now.
Yes,
as it's going to be in December, and explaining those differences.
And I think April is the most month that everything's changed, like in the UK, that things go like more increasing, and a lot of things you need to change it. And I guess it's for them that is really beneficial, and not now, but again, it's need to be up to date of what things is going. And I do remember like I faced that really huge because I signed to something that I didn't know that is really going to be, because the way the company obviously sell things, and then you think is, oh, that's the right one, and then you just go for it, and then you end up like, that's not the one that I meant to do it. So I had lots of issue, but I was with my foster family during that time, and it's just the transition from living with a foster family to independent life with it's a lot, huge.
It is, yeah, and a very scary time, I think, and that's something that at National Energy Action we take lots of those calls on a weekly basis, and our job there is just to guide and to be able to say to people that you're not on your own, you've got support, and say with using things like Language Line, it allows us to be able to communicate that in someone's own language, because if English isn't your first language,
need to do
and the technical language is very different.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, so that's something that being able to translate isn't just word for word as it would be on, say, a mobile phone with Google.
Indeed.
Using Language Line, actually, we speak to somebody in their own tongue. It makes a huge difference.
Of course, and you did highlight really like kind of big aspect of it is just to know for that person, for the young person, to know that you're not on your own. Like we're here to help you. We're not like off of the money just that, because sometimes it could be advertised in that way, and it's just like more to know like if you have an issue, we're here like to help you. And I guess it's like what is stood to them, all of it is just, we want to know and how can we do it, and I guess that's the main thing. So I just want to know, like, with engaging with the young women, was the information, and what do you think that they take away from the session?
I think cooking was a really big one. Yeah, cooking was a big topic of conversation. We looked up pictures and YouTube videos and things to show how different cooking appliances work. And for me, it was interesting to learn. So there was some, I think, Eritrean recipes that can take 9-10 hours.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that. I was shocked. I was like, oh, I don't like cooking for 20 minutes. I like cooking for 10 hours. That was, and if that was on a gas hob, for instance,
for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we just wouldn't consider. So being able to then discuss actually using a slow cooker in this instance.
Yeah.
The biggest fear there was it's an appliance that you leave on when you go out of the house.
Oh, wow.
And that was a difference, because obviously we're used to that. It's something that we know that is safe to leave on.
Yes.
But there was a big discussion around the safety aspect. And I think that kind of leads into as well things like the Priority Services Register.
Yes.
So the Priority Services Register is a really big thing that we do and we go through together. Because that enables someone to know if there's a safety problem.
Sure.
So if they have a gas leak or and a major electrical problem, if they're on the Priority Services Register, they've been told that English is not their first language.
Of course.
So if someone has to knock on the door to say you need to evacuate immediately, they have that information up front.
So they can know. And
of course, so they know.
Of course. And there's a lot of barrier, like for any... especially like a young person who comes from a different country, and again with all the crises here, plus their situation of coming here without their family, and they need to adapt to new environment, to new culture, to new barrier, and then you've got the culture, and you've got so many things again. And whether you able to do it again, apart from like giving that kind of tools of being there. And I guess that session was really beneficial, and I really thank you so much. And I think it's for final, like, I just want to know, like, if, basically, if you, for anyone who is listening to this podcast, what is your top tip or pieces of advice you would like them to take away with them?
I think never be scared to ask for help.
Indeed.
We found that over 70% of people that came through triage at NEA found that they'd struggled to get help elsewhere. So that's a big thing. Never be scared to ask for help. And also, I think in terms of being cautious when you're in the house, making sure there isn't a TV running all day. Yes, it's just a waste of money. There isn't a free.
I think I'm the most person need to take that advice, because I open Netflix and then just leave it there and sleep. So that will be for me.
I think that was a big thing with when we was talking about the young lady that had the baby. And with young children, I'm a mum myself, and it's very easy to turn the TV on and leave it on, and it keeps them amused. And we worked out the costs of different types of heating systems. That's a really big one because, again, and also always make sure you read your electricity meters and your gas meters. Always make sure that you give those readings in, because that's a big area where people just don't understand that what it says on the bill doesn't necessarily mean that's what you've used. And I think that's a really big top tip.
Thank you so much. And I think it all refers to me, that because I need to take all of them, not only just one, especially leaving the TV.
It's all of us. We're all guilty of it. And I think people just kind of think, oh, it'll just, the bill's fine, the bill is right, but no, not necessarily. Always make sure you check.
Thank you so much, Sophie, for joining us, and thank you for sharing your experience with our young people. For our listener, if you would like to learn more about National Energy Action, please visit their website at nea.org.uk. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about KRAN and how to get involved, please check our website, kran.org.uk. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. Till next time, stay safe and stay connected.